Okay, are we calling this anything, y'all? We just...
Unscripted homies.
Oh, cute. I like it. Unscripted. Should we call it the homies edition or what should we call it? Friends.
I like both. The homies edition is very new. I've never heard that before.
Okay.
The homies edition.
Emphasis on ho. Okay. Cool.
Wow. Okay, this is going off like a cut snake. You know when you cut a snake and
I've never cut a snake.
oh, same.
You know when you cut a snake? No, we don't know when we've cut because we've never cut snakes.
I can't do no small talk, no small talk. I'm not with the small talk. Can't be with the small talk.
Okay, what's up? Nick Archibald from the 5FM Top 40.
Are you Steph Dahl?
I'm kidding you, baby.
Yeah, no, smarting. Excited
Nice.
about today. We got some cool people in the same room.
I'm so excited. I don't think the four of us have ever been we've been in a room together before, but I don't think we've been in a room in front of mics together before. So I think this is a cool mix of people. We've got Thabo, of course, from News on 5 Breakfast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Salutations.
And greetings, my love.
Salutations, darling. Wonderful.
Of course, Thabo had to elevate the general energy in the room. Okay,
So
thank
profound.
you. Salutations
So
to you too, darling and sir. And then Yanga Mjoli, obviously from 5 Lunch. How you doing, baby?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. So I've gotten us together so we can watch, I think, probably just some of my favorite TikToks, if I'm being completely honest. These are the kind of videos, in case you've ever wondered, I know it keeps you up at night. When you go to bed and you're lying in bed and you have insomnia and you're like, I wonder what Steph has on her TikTok For You page.
Yeah.
It's just I'm sure it's one of the greatest questions in the world, and y'all think about that all the time.
is
So
true.
Listen,
This is
this podcast will win a Nobel Prize.
Yeah, of course.
Just for figuring it out.
answering the question, screw the Hadron Collider. This is the
exactly.
real question
To be or
about
not
the
to
universe.
be.
Yeah.
You know.
So we're watching some of my TikToks from my For You page and just reacting to them. Some that I think would make interesting discussions, and especially things that I'm kind of want y'all's opinion on, actually. Okay. So let's start it off. We're kicking it off. We can make it as heavy or we can make it as light as we want to, but don't hold back. So without further ado.
Well, this podcast really, it's making me think. The title of the episode is What Do We Owe Our Friends? Which is such an interesting discussion. I want to share a couple of the points that they call out in this episode. 1 is around flaking and how everyone seems to be doing it. 2 is around this, if not, don't worry, sort of culture that we have. And then finally, the formality we have around friendship these days. It feels like a business interaction sometimes. So the first one is around flaking. And you know how we often see those TikToks, or just in general, I feel like a common culture is, oh, your friend flaked? Thank God, you're so relieved. Many of us love a flake and we have no issues with it. What we don't hear as much about is the other side. The person who really wanted to hang out with the friend and is sad, disappointed, frustrated that you flaked. It makes me, as the friend who wants to hang out, not trust you when you constantly flake. It makes me feel like you don't respect my time. This culture of flaking is not relieving, but incredibly frustrating, and makes it feel like you are giving too much, you're too needy, right? And I thought that was a really, really interesting perspective, because I am almost always relieved by a flake, but I also, at the same time, feel that my friendships are suffering, that I don't have consistent hangouts with friends because we just wait so long. The second thing is around, if not, no worries, and how when you text and ask your friend for something, arrive from the airport, could you drop off this dress? Could you pick me up? Blah, blah, blah. If not, no worries. And how we put that there because we are worried about seeming needy or seeming like we need too much or pushing ourselves. We don't know their boundaries, whatever.
Cool.
And actually,
so I think
it is
you
both.
get the point of that. So it's basically just modern friendships and how they've evolved, and where it has become a bit of a joke. It has become a bit of a meme, right? Where I definitely am the person that is relieved when people cancel. I hate to admit it, and it makes me feel really bad, especially after listening to her and reading some of the comments. But I am that person. If I have plans with somebody and then they text me a little bit before and they're like, oh, sorry, something came up, I'm relieved, like audibly, visibly, physically. Like I'm like, dang, don't have to go out. But I hear her when she says, we never hear about it from the perspective of the person who wanted to hang out. Like the person who is being left on the side of the road, figuratively speaking, and like, I will be the first person to admit I like when people flake on me, but I also flake on people quite a lot as well. I'm a flaker. I'm from Cape Town. I know that's like a stereotype or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know that I flake, but I feel bad about it. And I do hear her when she says that our friendships are suffering. Our modern friendships are suffering. We just wait too long to hang out. And I think we're lucky at 5 and that we all relatively get along, right? And I would say that we count a lot of our colleagues as friends, but outside of the people you work with and outside of the people that you have proximity with, like we see each other every single day. I see you every single day and I'd count you all as my friends. But like friends outside of it, like friends from high school, friends from varsity, like I don't see them as much. And I agree with her. I think our friendships are suffering. I think friendships aren't the same these days as maybe they were, as the communities were even back in the day. I don't know how y'all feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I look at friendships like a relationship. Like I don't have a lot of friends, and I always thought I had a lot of friends, but I never had genuine friendships. So I was surrounded by people, like at school, could go from this group to that group to this group, like hang out with the drama kids, go to the rugby guys, same at university. But as I got through university, I realized like going through my own troubles from mental, physical, whatever in my own life, I was like, there's only probably 2 or 3 people I can really count on. And I suppose to take that argument further, it would be like, you've got to make the decision on whether or not, from the other side, when you're not a flaky friend, like I try my best. I always try my best. Like I've always said it, like there's friends who have disappointed me that I literally won't talk to, who have told me horrible things. But if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and they're phoning, I'm picking up the phone. Yeah. That's just how I view it. But to continue what I was saying, when I view friendships as proper relationships, it takes effort from both sides. I've gotten to a point where if you're not going to put the effort in, I don't care. Like I'll always continue putting in the effort, but I'm not going to chase you. Yeah. Because you can keep shouting at people going like, I want to help you, I want to see you, I want to be there for you, whatever. If they close you off, even if it's just general flakiness, then what's the point of that?
That makes me so scared. That makes me so concerned because I hear you go like, I don't want to chase you. And I get that. But like, I don't feel like, as a self-confessed like flaky friend, I'm definitely the person you call in an emergency situation. I'm going to pick up the phone and come to you at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about like, going out for coffee, like, and arranging for a coffee on a Saturday morning. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I don't know anymore. I don't feel like my friends are chasing me. I feel like I have a lot of anxiety. I can't always predict how I'm going to feel a week from today. So if we make plans very far in advance. Like I sometimes wake up on those days and I have crippling anxiety and I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. But I also don't mind not seeing people because I default to being a very solitary person. So like I don't mind not seeing somebody for 2 or 3 months and not even talking to them on WhatsApp. And then we do see each other 3 months later and we sit and chat for 5 or 6 hours, catch up. It feels like no time has passed. I don't need the kind of friendships where people are consistently messaging me, consistently checking on me, where we're meeting every single weekend to catch up on all the like minutia of our week or whatever it is. Like, I think I'm a low maintenance friend as well. And it also makes me concerned when I hear people, because I have a lot of friends who've been very honest with me, speaking about their relationships with other people. And it makes me concerned that my friends don't know that I care about them or that I love them because I am low. I don't need a lot of maintenance. And as a result, I don't give a lot of maintenance. I don't check in with my friends a lot. But I hope they know that I love them. It's just, I am also just who I am. Like I'm an anxious person. I don't expect you to chase after me. But I'm sorry if I've hurt your feelings in the past. Yanga, I don't know how you feel.
I feel like I get both sides. Like,
okay.
I get so excited when people cancel plans because I'm like, yeah, I wanted to do this though. You know, I'm not saying I don't want to see you, but when you cancel, I'm almost like, oh yeah, I was gonna watch the series at like 8, but I can start now. Like, which is like, it just gets me excited to continue with what I was gonna be doing. But at the same time, I think I do get the perspective of the friend who's like, okay, I guess it makes me feel like you don't value my time or you don't want to spend time with me or it's like not a priority for you. I get both sides. I think with me, what you just said about you feel like you're like low maintenance, so you don't really feel like you're not going to give all that maintenance. I get that too. Like, I'm very chilled. Like, when people speak to me, they'll be like, oh, I haven't spoken to you in like months. And I'll be like, laughs wild, dude. Like, I'd love to like just every day be in the mood to like talk to people, but like I can be flaky too because like with me, if someone's like, let's go do this tonight, I'm like, I have social anxiety. Like, I go out and I'm like, I feel like people are looking at me. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, and we're talking, like, it's all of that. So with me, going out is me thinking about the fact that I'm scared to go out into social settings because I don't know how to behave. It has nothing to do with you, the friend. Like, it's not like I don't want to see you or anything like that. So when I do like flake on plans, it's not really personal. Just like you said, maybe I woke up today and I got some terrible news. But if you feel like there's a history with me always flaking on plans, you're not going to get the perspective of Yanga's having a bad day. For you, you're just like, oh, it's another time Yanga's flaked on me. But really, I might be going through a terrible time.
It's like understanding. I think like friendships, whatever they are, there's got to be like a clear understanding between those two people, between the group of friends.
And it
like
requires
that.
honesty.
Yeah, but also friendship is a lot of work. There are certain aspects of friendship where, like, even honoring a commitment, a small commitment, is like the equivalent of like braving the stormy weather to go to work. You know, for example, I mean, I've got a friend who, we are like oil and frozen yogurt. We're so different. She's a glamazon. She goes out every night.
You're not a glamazon?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm a kick it back and chill at home kind of guy. And she goes out all the time. And I'm a serial flaker. But at the same time, I have to realize that we are living in a society where people are emotionally and mentally conscious.
Okay.
So if I don't feel like having breakfast with you or going out, I'm going to honor that feeling because I'm that in tune with it. You know, and that's the thing. It's a bit of a double-edged sword because now at the same time, your relationship is kind of in jeopardy and it takes the other person kind of understanding, you know, and you also want to say that, express it without coming across as selfish or needy. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I like when you said honor that feeling. And are you not concerned though that honoring that feeling might be doing a disservice to your friendship? Because it does require understanding, but it requires a level of understanding. Like, are we asking too much of our friends to like meet us at that level?
So I suffer from social anxiety, so much social
I feel
anxiety.
like we all do. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Guys, I'm like, we're all so anxious.
And at that very moment, you're thinking, okay, fine, listen, we'll go out, we'll do it, whatever. The 14th at 3:00, I'll be there. But as the date approaches, the more anxious you become.
Yes, and it builds. Ooh.
Yeah, and you just feel like, you know what, I can't do this. I'm not going to order the Uber. I think, you know, have fun, adios, va con Dios. You know, and it's something
whatever you said in Spanish.
Yeah.
God be with you.
Yes.
You know.
Wow.
Naturally,
Yeah.
we should have known.
Yeah.
We should have known.
Yeah.
I get, but another thing I want to say is I almost feel like I don't think friends should have to meet us halfway.
Okay.
I feel like we should just understand each other, if that makes sense. So I don't think I should be kind of villainized for honoring that feeling.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I don't think you should. I don't think like I should put myself like on the back burner in order to keep a friendship. Because then if I'm not focusing on myself and you're not learning that about me, then it's kind of a farce. Like, it's a friendship where one person's only benefiting. Like, I've been in a friendship where a friend was like, Yanga, you never like, I'm always texting you first and you're never like getting back to me in time and stuff. And I was like, yeah, it sucks. I'm sorry. But I was like, I mean, I'm dealing with like mental issues right now. And the friend knew that, but the friend was still like, but I make this effort. And I was like, I get it, but I don't think you're actually getting where I'm coming from. Like, it's all about how you're feeling. Things can't just be 1 + 1 in black and white. Like, you don't answer my phone calls, you're a bad friend. You know what I mean? Why am I not answering your phone calls? It's not like you did something wrong. Maybe I am just involved with something I need to focus on right now. mentally, emotionally,
Yeah.
work-wise. Like it could be anything.
Yeah.
So I guess like not even like let's meet each other halfway. You meet me where I am. I'll meet you where you are. So that we both understand. We get to understand and know each other better,
Yeah.
rather than feeling bad for feeling the way we feel.
One of my favorite things is it's actually this lady's talking about marriage, and like I said, like I look at friendships as a relationship,
Yeah, of course.
marriage, whatever. And there's this whole lie about friendships being 50-50. It's not.
Okay, what is it then?
It's 20-80. It's 70-30. It's 65-35.
And it changes constantly?
And it changes
Okay.
constantly.
Yeah.
But I think that's like, for me, it all boils down to like understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And also that's why I feel like you shouldn't have all these millions of friends, because you have to understand the million different relationships. Like I think that's just why, like, I don't know, like after high school, like I've shed so many perceived friendships that I'm still buddy with you. Like if you say, okay, let's go out or whatever, like I'll come with you, but I'm not going to tell you my deepest, darkest secrets, you know. So I think that's like for me, I'm always like, okay, I can see you're going through a tough time. Like I'll come to your house and we could do that, or I'll leave you alone. Whatever needs to happen. But it's 70-30 for now. Then it's 40-60 the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, that's deep, guys. That's deep. Okay, I like that. Yeah. I was like, sure. I also like how in the very, very first video we immediately went to anxiety. We're like, we all have anxiety. Like,
The pressure is getting worse.
like, Young is like, I have anxiety. I'm like, I have anxiety. Tom was like, I have social anxiety. Oh, surprise, surprise! All radio presenters have social anxiety. Believe it or not. Okay.
Do you announce everywhere you're going before you go, or are you an only child? I'll go to the bathroom.
So this one, I thought I'd lighten it up a little bit. And I love the concept of birth order and / being an only child, being one of many siblings. And when I watched that, I was like, wait, hold on. I think he's got a point here. I do announce everywhere I'm going. Like if I'm at work or I'm hanging out with friends or anywhere I am, like if we're just hanging out now and we're like at a coffee shop, like, okay guys, I'm just going to the bathroom quickly, I'm just going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But not everybody does that. Some people just get up and go to the bathroom. And like when only children don't announce where they're going, and you'll be surprised, it's only children. When only children just get up, they'll just get up and go. They won't like tell anyone where they're going. And then I'm left in the room going, where have you gone? Like, why are you leaving me? Like, where are you going? And it's genuinely apparently because of the sibling thing. So I want to bring it to y'all because I do this. I announce everywhere I'm going, even when I want to get a snack out of the kitchen and I'm like hanging with my parents, like I'm at home in Stellenbosch.
Yeah.
And I'll say to my mom, I'll get up from the couch and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to the kitchen quickly to go get a snack. Like I'll say what I'm doing. I won't just get up and go get the snack.
Is that not a normal
You know what I'm
thing?
saying?
I
No,
don't do
apparently
that.
not.
Like
What?
This is
Only
the thing.
child.
My mom does it though. My mom's not an only child. So with me, like we'll just be in the house. And I'll stand up and I'll just I know what I'm going to do. Like I thought of it. I was like, I'm thirsty, I'd like some juice. This is all in my head and I'll be like, let's get it. And then I'll stand up and
But you
I'll walk
won't
away.
announce it.
My mom will be like, where are you going? And I'll be like, I'm going to the kitchen. Like I didn't leave the house. Like I'm going into the kitchen. But she does that. So I'll be in the lounge and she'll be like, yeah, I'm just quickly going to my room. And I'm like, okay, go, bro. Like, why did you tell me? Like, I'm confused. I even do it with friends, like at restaurants, like you said. Everyone's talking and they're excited.
Yes,
That's when I said,
And
I'll
then
be
you
like,
just
And then
No,
just leaves.
well, yeah, I'm coming back. My phone's here. My things, I'm coming back.
what do you say?
Why do you want to know? Like,
We want to know.
No, I'm coming back. Like, I don't.
No, but we don't know
never,
that.
I've never had to tell anyone. Like, I was an only child, like I said. My mom was at work. I'm alone. So it's not like I'd get up and I'd be like, Yanga, let's take a nap. And then I'd leave. Like, everything happens in my head. So with me, I'm
I
just like,
announce everything.
I just get up and I leave. I walk away. I'll just go.
I'm going.
Like, it's what I do.
I'm going to make a wee.
Yeah, exactly.
I make a wee.
Yeah.
Don't tag me in your
You
post.
can do it. The
I
funny
make it.
in meetings that we're in together, me and Nick end up in a lot of meetings together. He will announce to the entire room. He's like, "I'm gonna go make a wee," and that's normal to me. But it's not normal to. I'm just telling you. I'm sorry if I'm the one telling you this.
Because also, like,
People think you're weird.
it freaks me out
I
when
do
people
it,
like
but-
when people just stand up and
Yeah.
like in a restaurant. There's like
Where you
14 of
going?
you. Some I don't know middle-aged white guy makes an inappropriate joke. You'll look at each other. One just gets up. You think that they're gonna run away.
Yeah.
But they don't. They're just going to the bathroom.
No, but it's not even like in silence. Like, I'll make an example. We're all talking
Yes,
down.
yes.
Then I go,
Blah, blah, blah,
I go
blah.
hectic. You know what I'm saying?
That is not a thing.
No, I'm just saying. It's like I said something. It's like something was said. It's not like everyone was talking and I've been quiet and I was just like. I ran off away. I said something.
That's weird. I never knew that.
But it's so weird how your familial, I guess, also social setup kind of dictates that. Because I was also, I announced everything. Because I remember I grew up in a big family.
Yes.
And I was the oldest. And I remember I was living with my grandparents. And during dinner time, you would always have to announce where you're going.
Yes.
Because my grandfather was very strict about dinner time. Okay. What are you going to get more salt? Are you going out to see a friend who's waiting outside? What are you going to do? So he wanted to know what you were doing. And that kind of like spilled over with my siblings. You know, it became like almost like, here are my whereabouts. Okay, I'm not in an alley somewhere. You know, it's here.
I also think it's a privacy issue. I know that sounds weird and like maybe a little bit dramatic, but I think when you grow up in a home where there are lots of people, you don't have a lot of privacy. So if you want to go to the bathroom, you announce that you're going to the bathroom because maybe one of the little ones is going to come follow you. Like if you don't say I'm going to the bathroom, maybe they'll leave you alone. Or like if you just get up and walk away, someone's going to ask you, where are you going?
Literally.
And now you're making it awkward. Now I've got to say to the whole room, I'm going to the bathroom. Is that okay with
I'm
you?
making a poo.
So I'd rather just announce it to the whole room.
But I think even with privacy, that's the reason I think I don't say anything. Like with me, like if I need the bathroom, I leave. Like I don't be like,
it's your business.
Hey guys, here's what's gonna happen.
This is
the bathroom.
This is blowing my mind.
Like,
I'm sitting, I'm like, I announce everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
But then do you think there is something about birth order? Do you
Yes.
think there is something to like
I'm a
being the
middle
oldest?
child and I've suffered.
Oh, God, that is such a middle child thing to say. Oh, my God. Because at this table right now, we've got an oldest, a middle child, a youngest, and an only child. That is insane, actually. And I fully ascribe to the birth order thing. I'm not only the youngest, but I'm also the youngest daughter. So, and all of the little implications that come with that, yes. If you have any questions, yes, is the answer. I am the baby. But I think I act a little bit like that. I think I give off that energy. And Archie, I love you, but you do give off middle child energy. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the coughing.
No. Yeah. Like
Because
screaming.
I had to scream for attention.
He has to scream.
Because my parents never loved me.
Yeah.
I'm
we're
joking.
here
Shout
for-
out
we're
mom and
here-
dad.
We're here for you. But you would say Archie's one of the loudest people at 5.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
One of.
like-
Please
okay,
respect
the
me.
loudest person.
Thank you.
But
Oh my word.
it's cute because Shame, you are trying for attention, and like
No,
the
'cause I
middle
was-
child does have to like
Just the baby.
act out of it.
But I wasn't. My sister was the baby.
And Thabo is so responsible and like has a very interesting sense of humor, and like there's certain things about you that definitely give the energy of being an oldest child. And I think like you err on the side of seriousness, but you've also got a very, very good sense of humor. And Young is 100% an only child.
You're
like,
straight
you give
up.
off deep only child energy, and
It's
that is like
traumatizing. Sorry.
it's a compliment.
I think I was gonna say I know like a lot of the things about me that like
Yes.
remind me of the fact that I'm an only child. I love talking to myself. Like that's how I come up with jokes. Like I'll be walking around, I'll be like, it's funny, and I'm alone. I'll say it out loud. Like I'll say it out loud. Like that. gives, like
Young
like
is my spirit animal.
that's what who was I gonna talk
She
to?
is.
That's
Yourself.
the thing. Like if my mom and I argued and I was like, you don't get me, and I went to my room, it would be me
Chat
there like,
yourself,
she
yeah.
doesn't get me. Like I talk to myself. It's not like I can be like, how did you deal with mom? Someone like it was just me. So I'd be like, she doesn't get me, and I'd write it in my book. I'm mad.
I'm mad.
I hate mom.
And because she did this, but later, I mean, she's the only person there, so I have to like.
you have
Yeah.
to. Make
You have to.
up.
We didn't even apologize to each other. My
No,
mom would just be like, "Yeah, you're over it." I'd be like, "Yeah."
Yeah, whatever.
I don't have a choice, do I?
I want to.
just us.
I know this might derail us a little bit from the middle child and the children like order thing, but and I don't know if this is true or not. But I saw a stat about people who have like internal monologues.
Oh.
It's apparently
Yes.
only like 50% of
Dude,
people.
it's less than half of people. I think it's 40% of people have an internal, like a voice inside
Yeah.
their head, like speaking.
an internal dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
I've
you
got a
have
voice.
I've got a voice.
I've
What do you?
100% got a voice.
Yeah, and sometimes I scare madly because I verbalize it.
Yes, yeah, as well, all the time.
Thabo says the quiet things out loud. Like Thabo definitely says the quiet things out loud.
thought.
I can't help it. I really can't.
I mean, I answer my inner monologue. Like sometimes something will happen, and there's something I can't say out loud. Like something weird happened, and then I'll be like, in my head, I'll be like, that was awkward. And then out loud, I'll be like, quite awkward. Like, I literally had a conversation with myself. Yeah.
That's something different. We'll have a conversation about that soon.
Okay.
What?
Okay. Okay.
Another one.
Another one.
In a word.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's hit it.
I love that the aliens are real, but more than that, I love that our aliens are fucking shy aliens. They're like playing coy with us. Like pop culture would make you think aliens come to Earth to destroy it or take over or like, use our resources. But no, our aliens are like, they're playing hard to get. It's like our aliens just pop in and pop out. They're treating us like we went on one Hinge date like a month ago. And like, hey, you still want to get that drink next week? And the aliens are like, I don't really like the vibe you guys give off. And I get it. Like, I get that they pop in and they kind of look at what's going on. They're probably like, oh, look at those ice caps. They're not looking as good as they used to look. Like, I wouldn't come here either. People are like, if the aliens are real, why don't they just show themselves? Why don't they reveal themselves? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, do you see how we treat each other down here? And with the species that we see anything that looks even remotely different than us, our first thought is like, one, can I eat that? Two, should I just murder it?
Right though.
That's
okay,
terrible.
so I don't know if y'all have been following the Pentagon and the
Yes,
Congress, like all the conversation about aliens at the moment. And I thought that there would be a lot more. I feel like it should have been spoken about a little bit more about the fact that they admitted that there are biological life forms that were found in craft that are not humanoid of origin. I was like, why is this not a big deal? I just think we've gone through so much over the last few years. We're like, aliens, whatever, okay, who cares? But he's got a point, okay? So the question isn't so much, do we think aliens are real? The question is, are we the bad guys?
Yes.
So there's a really, really good skit where these guys are in like a war situation and they start realizing through a conversation that they're actually the bad ones, like on the side of, they're the bad guys. And there's this iconic line where he looks at the other guy and he's like, we're the ones with like skulls on our like hats and stuff. Like, do you think we're the bad guys? Like, are we the baddies? So I suppose my question is, are we the baddies? Are we the planets that when the aliens like fly by and they're like supersonic jets or whatever you want to call it, travel at the the speed of sound or light or whatever, and they like lock the doors and roll the windows up and they're like, we're driving past Earth, kids, don't stick your hands out the window. Like, are we the bad guys? Like, he's right. Like, we see things and we just eat it or murder it and we're melting the ice caps.
Well, I think history proves it, right? And what's that called? History repeats itself.
Oh, fair.
And I mean, obviously, our more recent history, which is very dark within South Africa and something we're still dealing with as young people. But if you look throughout history, it's continuous. It's like the cycle of abuse, the cycle of murder, cycle of wars. We are definitely the bad people, like without a doubt.
One thing I will say is that Area 51 or Area 61.
Oh, yeah, 51, yeah.
51, like that place has been there for a while.
Yeah.
Like for a while.
Yeah.
So the idea would be, okay, I guess you guys knew aliens were here the whole time. This is what I got, right, from that briefing.
Yes.
I was like,
let's break it down.
They've escaped. So now they're like, listen,
we need to make them
everyone needs
aware.
to get involved
Yeah.
now. Look, they're real, and we're like, y'all scared. We're not dealing with this. Like, we're not. I'm not catching aliens. Like, are you guys really? That's what I got from it. 'Cause now, if you've had this area all this time, where no one can go there, but we know what the vibe is of the area. Kind of sounds like we like they've always been around. So why are you only telling us now?
What's the area of Area 51? Sorry, just...
What do you mean?
random.
Was there? Oh, it's
What,
probably
like
51 meters squared. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Thabo. How do you feel about aliens?
I've always pictured aliens, or at the very least, I guess, some form of extraterrestrial life, as always being isolated and, I guess, fearing some kind of invasion by us as humans. Keeping to themselves wherever they are.
Like they're afraid of us?
They're afraid of us.
Oh, okay.
And it's partly because of what you said, Archie, that anything that has human interference, even if there's the reason behind it is for the greater good, we end up doing more damage than we actually intend to. Whether it's, we talk about pollution all the time.
Yeah.
We're definitely the bad guys, even though we see it with a different set of eyes. But if you think of it as an alien, let's call it an alien, you see these two-legged people with hair and with leather jackets, and digital devices and whatever. They're here to invade with these foreign objects. What are they trying to do to us? You know.
But also, like, just being different. I mean, to take a deeper level on it. Not that we have to go here, but just hear me for a second. Even just being different in our history has always proved to be a negative.
Oh, 100%.
You know, even if it's the slightest difference, you veer slightly from the norm. I mean, aliens are here. Like, you know, if you just slightly
slimy to you.
So like, kill that person. You know what I'm saying? Or kill that thing.
100%.
Or eat it. I don't know.
You have a different color eyes, like, kill.
Yeah.
Do you
Murder.
think aliens have like agents that work at like NASA or different like space agencies
I
across
hope
the
so.
globe to almost limit the possibility of us traveling that far? Does that make sense?
Like a rip.
Like,
Yes, yeah.
So maybe there's like wait, hear me out. Maybe there's like an earthling who's like, guys, I think I figured it out. I think
An
we
ambassador.
could travel so far. We could like travel the speed of like light and time. So, and all these like light years, we can get there in time, you know? And they're like, there's someone there who just comes in at night and they go, never. And they wipe you.
And he's on retainer.
Yes, he's
Yes,
on
yeah.
retainer.
Like the
he
dentist.
runs interference on us, like, progressing so far. What's also an interesting concept to me is, I don't know if you know about Sentinel Island. It's like an island like off the coast of India, and the government has made it illegal for people to go and land there and interfere. There is a group of people that have lived there for hundreds of years, thousands of years probably, untouched by modern society. And it's very interesting, but do you think we're the Sentinel Island, potentially, of the universe? And they're all looking at us going, oh, those, like, you know, they haven't figured out, like, space travel properly yet, and let's just leave them alone. Let's just no one go near Earth, because they'll probably hurt you. And maybe every now and again an alien decides to land on Earth, because you know, curiosity gets the better of them, and they're like, let's go and see what all the fuss is about. And then they land here and they end up in Area 51 being dissected. So I'm just wondering, are we just meatbags, and the rest of the universe is looking at us going, they're so backwards, they're so horrific, they're so terrible, let them exist as like almost like a human zoo, almost like a
I think they think we're primitive.
Yes, primitive. That's the
Because
word.
like I think when you said like look at them with their cell phones, I imagine like an alien seeing us hold cell phones and
it
seeing
looks
us hold
lame.
something like this
Yeah,
big.
like this,
Like, and they're like, oh, where's your, I don't know, your brain,
Your mind,
chip,
your
brain phone or something. I don't know.
Your brain phone.
I don't know, but I like my mind really thinks that they think we're primitive because we're always fighting about things that don't
Brain
make sense.
phone, sorry.
They're like, look, they're driving in cars, but look what it's doing to the environment, and they're not making sense.
Why
Like,
aren't they harnessing the energy of the sun and using that as a renewable resource and instead burning fossil fuels? Like, do you know what I mean? Like all these things, I just feel like the aliens think we're idiots. Honestly, they think we're idiots.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Honest question though, would you be prepared emotionally, like
No.
for real, if you met an alien?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Do you think?
I just feel like every day we interact with people and we have no idea what they're capable of, right? So in my mind, I'm like, I could meet a stranger in a club at the mall or something and you could be a serial killer. What if you're crazy? What if you ate bath salts and now you're trying to eat my face? I don't know. There's different reasons I think like normal human beings can be crazy.
True.
But if I met an alien and an alien was like, bro, today's like the worst day of your life. I'm taking you back to Club Club and you're gonna, I don't know. But if that happened, I'd be like, look, Earth sucks. Like, so let's see what's out there on Club Club. Life's short.
Are you from Club Club? Is
No.
that
See,
why
that's how
you
people
know?
that's how people find aliens. They're like, what do you mean Club Club?
You mean
I slipped up. Murder them all, John.
Okay, so you think you'd also be prepared if you saw an alien?
Yes.
Like for real, if somebody was like,
I am always prepared for the end.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Thank you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, take me. Like, if I saw an alien, just take me.
yeah. I mean, honestly,
You know,
If you-
genuinely, I mean, the world already, we live in a terrible world. Can I just say that? We have a terrible world. I
Wow.
mean, it's like we're controlled by numbers.
happy
I'm going full on conspiracy. We're controlled by numbers. Sometimes I feel like we're in a simulation. You know, we do things. I mean, we're creatives, but even being creatives, we work within a very well-oiled machine of structure called radio specifically. Social media is just a machine. Bro, Instagram is a website. It's a website. Instagram.com/Nick Archibald ZA. It's a website. We like, so many likes, so many comments. I'm doing so well, whatever. Bro,
It's a website.
It's a website. It's a
literally-
simulation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tabo, are you ready for the end?
No. Whoa! I'm sorry.
Tabo's like,
empowering here.
aliens, miss me.
No.
Miss me with that. I do not want to meet you.
Because we don't know what's waiting for us up there when we do get there, when they take us in the spaceship, whatever it is.
Are you concerned about
That's
being
true.
probed?
I don't know.
I think that's a
Kind of
rumor. I
exciting.
feel
I'm
like
not-
aliens don't like that rumor. I'm like,
What?
I don't know.
The space what?
No, the probe.
It feels like you are.
She's like, that's low-key offensive to the aliens, and they don't like to think that people probe them. So
Yeah, or aliens
yeah.
probe people.
Yeah.
Humans. Maybe aliens think they're people. Earthlings.
yes,
Earthlings.
Earthlings. Extraterrestrials. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not prepared.
Either way, I'd rather stay in this screwed up ecosystem we live in.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I feel
I've
you.
said it a number of times on my show. I'm like, y'all, if there's an alien listening to 5FM right now, reach out. Hit me up on the WhatsApp line. Like, I will be
out.
like South Africa or Gauteng's emissary. And like, let's connect. I'm also ready. I'm with Archie. I'm with you, Yanga. I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. Take me
Play
to
me
another
on
planet.
average.
Probe me, baby. Like, I don't mind. So
I was trying to do
We've got a-
ET with you and you denied me. ET, come here.
And I'm the alien. But okay.
you see, we're cosplaying alien. You're the actual alien.
Yeah, exactly. Tactics.
Okay, so I'm going to give a little bit of context before this next one. This guy has ended up on my For You page a number of times, and he has come up with a number of morality questions that he likes to ask people, right? So I haven't included the previous morality questions. I've just chosen the one that would be appropriate. Some of them are kind of gross and involve just a little bit of incest. So potential incest. This one doesn't. So this is the morality question we're going to answer.
Incest.
You know me, you know that I love to ask 4 morality questions to new people when I meet them, and this is question 3. I want you to imagine someone hands you a book, and inside this book is every negative or mean thing anyone has ever said about you, and it's attributed to the speaker. So, for instance, my book might say something like, Haley, Jake sucks, I hate that guy. Besides that, the book has no context. They don't know when it was said, to whom it was said, why it was said. Fully recognizing that we have all said bad things about people we love at one time or another, whether it's out of anger, out of frustration, whether we say it in confidence to our mom. Sometimes we say stuff that we don't even mean. Sometimes we just need to vent. The book doesn't know any of that. All it knows is who said it and what was said. No context. There is no way to parse through the things that were genuinely malicious and the things that people may have just said out of frustration. With that said, would you read the book or destroy it? Personally, I would destroy this book so fast I would not be tempted whatsoever, and let me tell you why. Because I think a significant portion of this book will be made up of things that you cannot control, you know, the way that you look, parts of your personality that you just don't really have any control over, as well as all the times your friends or family may be genuinely angry or frustrated at you, and maybe even for good reason, when they say things they don't necessarily mean. I don't think this would be a good opportunity for constructive criticism. I could see this being used in that way to be like, oh, do I actually need to work on something? However, personally, I trust my friends and family enough that I think if they had a genuine problem with me, they would be able to come to me. However, I know not everyone feels that way, and lots of people choose to read the book.
There we go. So a book has literally everything in it that anyone has ever said about you, but there's no context. You don't get to know if they were just making a joke, going like, oh, Nick, he's so, like we were talking about it earlier. We were making a joke like, oh, Nick's so loud, or whatever. You know, you can have a million jokes being said about you. But inside of that book would also be the things that were said by people about you, maybe when they were angry or upset or emotional, or like he says, constructive criticism. But it is a book with everything negative that has ever been said about you by everyone, and you just know who said it and what they said.
No.
Are you going to read the book, or are you burning the book? What are you going to do? Okay, Nick.
I'm straight up burning it.
Really?
And straight up burning it. I'll tell you why. Nothing you say about me will ever be as negative as what I've said about myself. Like, I am a constant bullier of my
yourself.
own
Yeah.
shortfalls. And I have been my whole life. And I think a lot of people are. I think sometimes, like, I can get into a deep hole against myself. So that's going to spiral me hardcore. Because if I'm spiraling on my own thoughts and then I see your thoughts, girl, damn, find me in a straitjacket. You know what I'm saying? So I would burn it straight up because I have already said like the worst things you can imagine about myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear it.
That surprises me, honestly, because I'm super curious, man. I'm nosy. I'm like you. I like to beat myself up. I like to hurt my own feelings. I'm my biggest bully, for sure. So a large portion of the book would probably have my own name written there. I can skip that part and just be like, as long as it's alphabetically indexed, I can skip everything that says Steph because like I've said some horrible things about myself out loud and internally. So besides that, I would still read it, man. I'd never sleep again.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure.
Sacrifices.
Like, I never sleep again. But I'm too curious. I'm too nosy. I need to know what people truly think about me.
I think I'd burn it because I am curious and I'd want to read it. So I'd have to burn it because I know I'm more sensitive than I am curious. So, but also I get what Nick says. Like I've also said tons of terrible things about myself. Like when I'm just like, you don't know how to read and I'm mad and stuff. Like it doesn't make sense.
Read that thing. Bring
You're
something.
illiterate. I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm mad at myself over like silly things sometimes.
Yeah.
If I see things that people have said about me in a book, I'll cry. But I'm also just like, there's things people have said to me, like, come on, like a parent. When a parent's like, come on, clean your room. This is messy. You're messy. You're lazy. So now if I see the Yanga lazy, I'm like, Ash always calls me lazy. But then there's certain parts of it, it's like, Thabo said this. I'm like, Thabo. Like I'd actually be like,
Yeah, how do you look at the people who
exactly?
who
I could never, and I'd become a villain. Now you'd be like, Yanga's got a weird attitude around me these days. Hey, Yanga, oh, it's at hey now. Like, it's like, what did she? You don't even know about
Maybe
the book.
when I'm about to die, I might read it.
I'm in my villain era now. Like I'll read the book, become a villain.
That's
I love
that's
it.
why I'm
it's
like,
a canon event. You
I have
can't
to burn
interrupt
it.
Like,
I have to burn it to sleep at night. Literally.
so you don't want to read anything?
I can't read it because I'm curious. I'd want to because I'd be like, yeah, were you ever my friend? Like, because I want to know that. But then at the same time,
You have no context.
I have no context.
So how you gonna
So
actually decide?
sometimes leave it to the universe.
I just think I'd be reading through the book and be like, fair. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they got me on that one. Okay. Also, just being autistic, I feel like a lot of you would be like, yeah, that tracks. Yeah, I'm sorry. But I agree with you. I think I'm very sensitive. I cry a lot and I'm equal parts curious and sensitive. And it would definitely hurt my feelings, but I enjoy hurting my feelings. I enjoy making myself cry on purpose. So I feel like this would be the perfect opportunity. So instead of listening to Phoebe Bridgers, I just read the book, and read some mean things about me. I'd give myself one reading a day. It'd be like going to bed reading the Bible, and I'd give myself a page a day. And then just read all the mean things, and then you know what I mean, hurt my feelings just before I go to bed. Yeah.
That is so dark.
I must say, I would definitely read it, knowing
Thank you, Thabo.
knowing that it's to my own detriment. You know, look, I already have low self-esteem.
Yep.
Like you guys said, there are certain things you think about
I
yourself.
already hate myself.
You can't say anything worse
Yeah.
that I haven't already said about myself.
That's true.
But at the same time, you think you have people around you who have these opinions. Yes, I know sometimes it's without context, but I also believe in energies, and having those kinds of energies around you kind of intensify, I guess, what you feel about yourself and what you put out into the universe.
That's true.
So I would rather read it and probably feel crappy for the rest of my life, and knowing that there's nothing I can do to undo it.
Yeah.
And that'll be the albatross on my neck for the rest of my life.
shame.
Because I'm also curious. I'm very nosy. I need to know. It's going to drive me crazy if I don't.
I never thought you were nosy.
But yeah, you'll see. You can read about it in the book. We've said other things about you, so you read about it in the book. But I agree with you on the nosy thing. But I also, I hear you on it being the albatross around your neck for the rest of your life. But I think a part of me would also want to know for self-improvement reasons. Is that lame? Is that
Yes.
stupid?
No.
I want to read it, and I know certain things about myself, about my personality, about my character. And yeah, some of it can be attributed to autism. Some of it can be attributed to trauma. Some of it could just be attributed to me sometimes being an asshole. Or curt with people or short. And I know that sometimes I can come across in a way that I don't necessarily intend. And I think that people are sometimes shy about feedback like that. Telling me straight up, Steph, actually the way you speak is kind of hurtful. And I'd like to know, to be able to read, when people don't know that I'm going to hear what they're saying. It's like being that fly on the wall in every room that has ever had anything to say about you. And being able to take that and go, oh, but it requires you to be mature at a level that I'm not sure that I'm at yet, and make growth at a level that I'm not sure that I'm at yet either. But be able to sort through the things that are constructive and sort through the things that are being said about you that are just being said out of hurt or spite or emotion. Because as much as you don't have context for what's being said, you know who the people are. So if it's like your mom has said something about you,
that's going to matter more.
You know what I
than
mean? It's going to matter, right? And like, or maybe even it doesn't matter because you can go, oh, she probably said that when we were like having a fight. And like, I said mean things about my mom as well, or about this person. But like, if it's somebody that it's like cashier at supermarket, and on the day that you maybe weren't kind of nice and like maybe a little bit short or whatever, or maybe that time you tipped the waiter 10 rand instead of 15 rand or something like that, and they were like, they went back and complained to their friends, they only gave me a 20% tip, it should have been 30, like whatever. That's different. But I think I'd like the constructive feedback, because there would be an honesty in the book that I would never get even if I asked friends for feedback.
True.
I think
At least unfiltered, you wouldn't.
Yeah, unfiltered. No, exactly.
I think at first I was like, I'd like to read the book, but I feel like, and this was me thinking like, oh, Yanga, this is like the mature, like grown way to deal with this. Like, you would read the book, but it doesn't matter because you don't validate that for yourself.
I think the mature way is your way is burning it. I think that is the most mature.
But that's the thing. I was like, I'm curious,
Start the fire.
I'm curious, but I'm also like, why would I validate those things? But I'm still younger and I'm sensitive, so I'm naturally, it's just a default setting. I'm going to somehow feel sad about it, but if I feel sad, it means there's a part of me that validates it.
Ooh.
If that's,
You're giving it power.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, just burn it. Don't even look at it. Just burn it.
So you're still burning it, Nick?
I'm still burning it,
You're still burning it?
No, I just, I'm so sensitive. I cry a lot. Like and also like I'm so hard on myself that I know what that would do to me. And I don't even think it's about maturity. I think it's about like personality and how you actually, because there will be people there that I respect deeply and love deeply that would have said awful things. And also the converse is, would you feel comfortable
with them reading
the things that you've said about them? And I'll be honest, no. I'm also an emotional fella. I've said some things. I've said some dark shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, God. I think in my head, I'm like,
give us an example.
Does Thabo want to know? No, I'm joking.
Just say, give us an example. This plays into my conspiracy theory that newsreaders are the ultimate gossipers.
Yes,
because all you're doing every day when you read news is gossip about other people. You're gossiping about politicians. You're gossiping about what's happened in other provinces. You are the ultimate gossipper, and you're like,
no doubt about it.
Just tell us what you've said about people. Do you want to, I think, go around the room and tell us one mean thing that you've said about each of us? Thabo, and you're still reading the book though. You're on my side. You're reading the book. We're reading the book. We're being petty and we're reading the book.
We're definitely reading the book because as much as quite often the idea is we turn our nose up to what people think about us. But like you said, Steph, sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes you need to know if you're a jerk and if you have qualities that you kind of need to work on. So.
What if you're a comfortable jerk? Like, do you get what?
Just wait to be comfortable with yourself, man.
Like, what if
I'm me?
What if you're really like, I love seeing people cry. I don't care, guys.
But then
it's not me. I said, what if you were that type of person? If that makes sense. Like, you do get people like, I know I'm a butt. And
I'm a huge butt.
I live for it. Like, I live for being a butt unapologetically. Because it's almost like I'm being myself.
Yeah.
I'm literally naturally being myself. So if someone's like, Yanga, I do think it's positive for people to just be positive people, But I'm just saying, what if I was a person who was just comfortable being a villain? So if someone was like, Yanga, when you spoke to me that way, it hurt my feelings. I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Good.
That is what I intended.
That brings me so much joy. I'm so glad. Mission accomplished. You get people like that who are comfortable with being dicks. And it is what it is. I'm sorry, I couldn't find another word. I was going to say miscreants.
Penises. I don't know. What?
But I'm
Sorry,
saying you
this
get
is
those
too much.
people. You get those people who, like, for them, it's like there is constructive criticism, but they don't see it as constructive criticism.
Yeah.
They see it as you trying to change them. Whereas they're actually comfortable being the way that they are.
Being butts.
Yeah, being butts.
Being butts, penises.
I think a moral of the story is some people are butts. And others want to read about it. Okay, we're heading on to the final video.
Is it the
Damn!
It's the final video.
Steph and I are going to start a choir.
Okay, this is a quick one. It's going to require...
Focus.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's it. My mom once told me it's not stalking if it's available on social media. I use this to validate my stalking daily.
Yes.
So the idea being that if something is put out on the internet, it's free for human consumption, for investigation, for any kind of stalking. But you can't say that you're being stalked by someone on social media because you're the one who put your life out there. And you basically you're asking people to follow you. You're literally asking people to follow you. And isn't that what a stalker is? It's just somebody that follows you. So it's like, have we blurred the lines between and what stalking actually means, I think? And do we actually have we stopped to think about the concept of what having followers really means? I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about it. Thabo, maybe?
I'm not physically outside your house, okay? And like you said, look, because I do this I do this all the time.
The way you said that though makes me feel like you are sometimes outside. Some people
No,
say
because made me laugh because you're like,
I
I
want
am
you
not
outside my
physically
outside your
I am
house.
not physically outside.
Physically.
But emotionally and mentally, I'm outside your house.
This is definitely me.
I left a camera there.
I've got no, I kid you not. There's somebody who follows somebody who locks
Yes.
their Instagram account, and I'm kind of curious about what they're doing with their lives. So every now and then, this person will take a screen grab of what this person posts and send to me because I'm curious.
I told you the ultimate
Okay.
gossip. I told
Yeah.
you.
No. Listen. I'm just. Yeah. I don't think it's violating anything.
Okay.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
You know. And look. Like you said, you put your life out there, so you're tacitly
made the
saying,
choice, yeah.
you're tacitly saying, okay, well, here
Consume my life.
you go.
Here I am.
I'm serving
This
some
is me.
content. You know? Yeah. No.
And the content happens to be me. That's
Yeah.
also the thing, is that what we're serving up on a platter is often ourselves, unless you've got like a meme account or like your pet's account or something. But we're going, here, I'm offering my life up in a curated way, but I'm offering it up for consumption
Yeah.
and criticism. And I'm offering it up for you to consume and to follow.
Yeah.
And then sometimes get upset when people do those things, when sometimes people do criticize and follow and consume our content. And do we really have a right to be critical of that if we are the ones putting it online?
I agree with Thabo.
Yeah.
At the end of
Yeah.
the day, like, you know where you're stalking me. If I'm at the mall and I keep seeing you every time I'm in a different, I'm scared.
That's a
I
different
think
thing.
They're
you're
behind
stalking
the beanies, like
Yes,
Yeah.
you're physically stalking me. The thing though that does make it like a thing is like there is like a definition for cyber stalking. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
of
that's how
course.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
then I forgot the exact definition, but it's pretty much stalking someone online. But what makes it stalking online? If you have, like you said, an Instagram page and it's open, it's not private.
yeah.
I can see that. You get like, what do you call it? The For You page.
Yes.
So that's Instagram giving me
Yeah,
suggestions of
yeah.
people's things to watch. So if I open and I see that and I follow your life, I can't be a stalker, even if I'm curious. But then what makes someone a cyber stalker then? If that makes
Right.
sense.
What makes someone a stalker? Have we redefined what stalker even means now?
Well,
It's
that's the
like-
thing. We'd probably have to, but like, if you're opening your Instagram, because also I must say, and I must give credit to, for me particularly, Instagram has given you as the person who, like I said, has this website that you've curated, whatever. They've given us a lot of power. I mean, I've had to block so many people. It's so inappropriate on Instagram. But you have the power to block, right?
Okay.
You have the power to report and stuff like that. Whereas actual physical stalking, when Tabo's outside your house,
Yeah, I mean,
call
Tabo's
me.
outside
What?
everyone's house right now. Look
That-
outside. No, I'm serious. Look outside your window. He's there.
When it's actually physical, like then it has then you have no power. Like you have no power. If someone's standing outside your house and sees you in the wall, you have no power. Whereas in social media, it's not stalking because you have the power.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's only with DMs and stuff. They can just view your profile.
Yeah,
But
they
you
can still view your profile, and
you can
so many
block,
people
you
have
can-
Finsters and have multiple accounts and stuff.
But if someone
like,
That's true,
interacts
yeah.
with you in a way that you don't like on like social media or
Yes,
something,
yeah.
You
isn't
do
that
have
like
the
that's
power,
like
yeah.
harassment now? That's not even
okay,
stalking
yeah,
anymore.
yeah, it's harassment. Yeah.
That's something else. But now the element of like discomfort,
Mm.
it being, Tabo's cyber stalking me, as we put it. He's looking at my pictures, he's doing this. That I think is belied by the fact that, okay, you've got 800 followers. You don't know who's behind each and every keyboard
Yeah.
out of all those
yeah.
800. That could be a bigger monster, so...
Yo.
Okay, that is terrifying. Why did your
I'm
just
sorry.
your one sentence made me want to shut my Instagram account
I'm
down
sorry.
right now? Like, you're terrifying. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
So, I suppose my question then as well, as people who are relatively in the public eye and we're expected to speak about our lives on radio as well, and we're expected to give of ourselves on social media too, to a certain extent, and be available. Do you have any particular feelings about how much is expected of you in terms of how much of your life you're supposed to put online? Do you feel a pressure to put more of your life online now that you work at 5FM?
I definitely do.
Okay.
But that's because just in general, as younger, I'm actually quite a private person.
Okay.
Like I enjoy, it's not even privacy, I just enjoy being mysterious. Like I just want people like learn about me. No, like not even like in a mysterious way. Like I just mean like in like when people meet me, I want you to genuinely get to know me,
Okay.
So I mean, also with social media, I do get scared about posting things because I'm an overthinker.
Okay.
So I could be somewhere and I'm like, I just want to show everyone where I am. And then I'll take a picture and I'll stare at it for days. Like the day passed and I'm staring and I'm like, I don't know, bro. That's in the background. And aren't those people being investigated? I don't know, delete it. Like,
Where are you hanging out?
No, I'm just saying,
Who are
like,
you hanging out with?
I'm just saying, like, or maybe I took a picture somewhere and in the background there's a monitor and people are watching like this really toxic podcast or something.
Oh, yeah,
now
yeah,
people are
yeah.
like, what was Yanga doing there, bruh? What's in the
Yeah.
background? Like, I overthink like that. Hence, I'm like,
Yeah.
if I'm posting something, it's pretty, like concrete. This is me going, hey guys, this is me and my dog Spot. We are in the garden.
Nice
Done.
name.
And then how do you
That's it.
sport? How do you
Sport.
see the difference though between what you share online versus what you share on air? Because you have a very personal relation, like you're very sincere and you speak about your life and yourself on air a lot. I do as well. I know Archie does. I know Thabo does as well. We all do, really. We answer very deep and personal questions. We have those conversations with our listeners where you will be honest. Sometimes I've been honest about my mental health struggles. I'll be honest about, eating disorders and things like that. And why do we feel confident to switch on a mic with a couple 100,000 people listening to us going, yes, I did struggle with an eating disorder in high school for blah, 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 but I wouldn't necessarily put that on my Instagram story. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I
what's
think-
the line there?
I think one thing about radio is that we get to control the narrative.
Oh, okay.
Whereas on social media, you don't. You put that story out, someone screen records it, they put their own personal spin and it spins out. It's the same why, and this is completely from a different point of view, why marketing on radio has almost fallen flat and why you don't see as big stunts. I mean, when we were younger, the radio stunts that happened in this country were wild.
Insane, yeah.
But they could control the narrative because it only ever happened on air because there was no social media. You take one little minute 5-second thing that you've put on your story out of context, you can no longer control that narrative. That's why I think, like, I know for a fact, I will share my life story on air. I'll tell you them dark things.
Yeah.
But on Instagram, I'm just trying to be a funny guy and have a
Okay.
bit of fun because I can't control what people are going to think about me after that.
I think for me, it's more the fact that a lot of my colleagues have created this safe space for me to be vulnerable and say just about anything. I mean, half the things I've said on air, I would never say at like the dinner table. I kid you not.
And the irony is that there are hundreds of thousands of people listening, but you don't want to say it at a dinner table in front of like 3 people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's kind of bizarre, but it's because they've created that space. But also the beauty of mass media as well is even if you're like kind of shy, you can't see the 1 million people or whoever's listening to you. So that kind of makes it more comfortable. Yeah.
I was also going to say, I also think, just like you said, like you work with people who make you feel comfortable enough to be able to like share these stories. But I've also realized, like when I'm talking on air and stuff and I'm just like being vulnerable and stuff, I've realized the only thing I worry about is my family listening or my mom. And it's not like because I'm going to scare them. Sometimes I just say things and then I realize, oh my word, there are other people in my life that like don't know about this, but they love me. So now this is my mom texting me a message and I'm saying something. My mom will text me, hi, Bo, because she's shocked. She does that. She'll send hi, Bo, and she'll send the emoji with the lady with the hands on the head.
Oh my gosh.
Because she's shocked I said whatever I said on air. And I'll just be like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just the people I'm working with in the room or if it's also the idea that like I think like with radio and with like shows, there's like a bit of a family or community that forms. So people kind of get to know the people behind the mics. So I actually don't feel bad because I'm like, I feel like you know me, if that makes sense. Because I've shown you bits and pieces of who I am, honestly. So it's not like I have to think about what I'm going to say because they're things I'm trying to hide. That's only when I'm like, I don't want to traumatize my really conservative family or my mom who's like, Yanga, you're my only child. So when people hear you on radio, they're like, that's you. That's you. It's not me, Yanga. She's like, they say it's me. So when you're like, I was partying, got home at 5. And she's like, don't tell the nation that, Yanga, don't do. Like for her, it's just like she's shocked.
It's a reflection on her.
But I'm like, it's not really. I'm just an individual.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Can I end this on a little bit of a funny story related to I think not really any of the videos we've watched, but related to what you said about our parents listening in, and like we sometimes forget that we're not individuals and that we are individuals, but like there are other people involved in our lives and we speak about those people on air all the time and openly. And I had a friend come to me once and she was like being a friend of yours is actually really scary because you never know if something that we've done on the weekend is going to end up on the radio like the week after. So like related to that, like exactly, be terrified.
Be scared.
You want to be mysterious, you want to be scary, like that's how you do it. But this is a terrible story and I can't believe I'm going to say it on the podcast, but it's fine, whatever. Sorry, Dad. Not sorry. My dad was camping and he bought a watermelon on the way up to camping. And it was very hot in the Cederberg in the Western Cape and he was really excited to eat this watermelon, had left it out in the sun accidentally and opened it up a day or two later and realized that the watermelon had fermented, just like a tiny bit, right? But it's a whole watermelon. He's a frugal guy. He doesn't want to waste the watermelon. And it tastes a little bit strange, but it still tastes like a watermelon. So he eats the thing. And then it results in explosive diarrhea for about 2 or 3 days afterwards. And I remember going on air, and I don't know how this story came up, and I shared that story about my father on air. And forgetting that there are real life consequences. And my dad is a man with a business and there are people in Cape Town that know that I'm his daughter. My dad messaged me the next day and said to me, did you speak about my diarrhea on radio? No. He was in a boardroom and one of his clients in a boardroom full of very important people said to him, so, Barry, have you recovered from this weekend? And my dad was like, recovered from this weekend? What do you mean recovered from this weekend? And he goes, you had a little bit of a incident with the watermelon, with the diarrhea. And my dad was like, how did
I would have deleted my child.
He messaged my mom.
Delete, log
he
out.
literally messaged my mom and was like, did you speak to like clients about like my diarrhea situation? And then apparently had a whole lunch with her to discuss this. My mom knew because she'd listened to the show. She knew it was me. But my mom was like, no, I don't know where they heard that, hey. And only like a few weeks later did his clients eventually say to him, no, your daughter spoke about it on national radio. After like 2 or 3 people had actually asked him about his explosive diarrhea. So, moral of the story. when you're in studio, even if it's a very vulnerable and we have created a safe space for us to talk about stories, if either of your parents have explosive diarrhea, don't mention that on air because maybe their clients will bring it up.
Mention your own explosive diarrhea.
Mention your own, just
more
not
relatable.
Or maybe just not any diarrhea. Let's just maybe.
I feel like I've said diarrhea too much.
Everyone say it five times fast.
Diarrhea.
No, it's not just. It doesn't even seem that
That's
bad.
exactly that's what I'm saying.
It's like it's a flower from like a specific country. Bunch of diarrheas.
Tijuana.
Yeah. Ooh, get me a nice
Watermelon.
ripe diarrhea.
I want it sliced into wedges. A wedge of diarrhea, please, with a sprinkle of salt.
Medium rare, please.
Medium rare. Wow, that was too
medium
far.
rare.
Imagine cooking diarrhea, bro. How do you keep it together? Sorry, it was right there.
This is the first time I have ever thought that maybe 5 unscripted. Maybe we should change it to scripted. Like, I don't think we should be allowed to have unscripted conversations. I don't think so. Okay, well, we've been chilling with the homies. I've had fun. Round of applause. Stephanie B's For You page. Maybe we could do somebody else's For You page next time and we can see what.
No, you'd love mine. It's hilarious.
Hilarious.
Okay, we're definitely doing Yanga
Mjoli.
Doing what, Yangas?
My For You page.
Have you been? We've been
TikTok.
speaking
Sorry,
about
no.
Okay.
For You page.
Yes, on
TikTok.
Oh,
He doesn't
yes.
know why. He doesn't know why we're here.
No.
We've had a whole conversation,
Literally 3 hours.
and he has no
Tabo
idea.
has just realized what we're
No,
In fact, Thabo, get out.
I'm
Thabo,
sorry.
leave.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking For You.
In
I'm
fact,
like, what?
we're gonna leave.
Is
I
this a new
even
Elon
pointed.
Musk
I said
thing?
like.
Is it okay? Yeah.
You know, yeah, okay. No, but I've got it. I've got it.
Okay, we'll catch you on the next episode where we'll be watching Younger's For You page, and Tabo will still not know what we're doing. So that's it from me, Stephanie B. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
This is 5FM.